What's in it for us? What's in it for us politically? What risks am I taking? What self-interest is there in going in there? Is there oil? Is there natural resources? Is there something that I can defend the why we're expending the capabilities and taking the risks? Can we accept casualties? Are we prepared to take casualties if we go into Darfur? What is the principal argument you're hearing about Afghanistan? The troops are ineffective and they're rape, pillaging, and plundering. It's costing us too much, or is the number of casualties? Are all humans human, or some more human than others? Bill Clinton, in 1993, in Mogadishu, had 18 of his soldiers out of a military of 1.4 million. 18 professional soldiers were ambushed and killed, and you probably saw the movie Black Hawk Down. And their bodies, white bodies, dragged through the streets of Mogadishu, and he said, the American people will not support me in a humanitarian effort where there is no self-interest, and he ordered his troops out and abandoned us and hundreds of thousands of Somalis, and created a fear of casualties that has created not only our unwillingness to participate and take risks, but has created a whole generation of mercenaries and security companies to replace the military, for whose ethos we're not sure what it is. What rules of engagement are they following? These security companies that are being used instead of military. We fear casualties. The fear of casualties overrides the mission. He started it. And if the world power doesn't want to sustain casualties when it's not in self-interest, how can we create a response in other countries, in middle powers, to be able to respond? And so that is why we find ourselves in a difficulty of what is the aim. What is the aim when we go into these countries? Is it the mission to assist these people and sustain the effort? Because we'll be in Afghanistan for 40 years. Well, they won't have to fight that long, but certainly to help it in rebuilding it, the development, and so on. Is that the priority, or is the priority making sure we have no casualties? We can do it at no cost. Dollars, yes, but we don't want the sweat. We don't want the tears, and we don't want the blood of our youth. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if we are not prepared as a leading middle power in the world to pay that price and participate in paying that price in order to assist countries to achieve a modicum of democracy, human rights, rule of law, gender equality, and education, then we should stay home. And we should stop saying what a great country we are, because we are then, and will be held accountable in history as one of the most egoist countries in the world. And I am not sure that we have spent all this effort, all this mastery of technology, all this development, all this work in building a great nation to sustain itself and its regionalism. I think we do want to see a more Kennedy-esque response in this country. That we want strong regions in the country, but we want strong regions to enter a synergy, to build a capability of a nation that has a vision of its role in the world as assisting in advancing the human plight, human rights, and treating all humans as human. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the aim. Mr. Harper, when he goes to Trenton and talks to the families of the soldiers that are coming back in those body bags, it would be a lot easier for him to explain that, yes, this is a terrible price your family is paying, but it is part of the price that this nation has established. For this nation wants to participate in the responsibility to protect beyond its borders, in assisting nascent democracies, in preventing massive abuses of human rights of its people, of not letting people hide behind sovereignty. That's what we want to do. If he was able to say that that is the vision of this incredibly powerful middle power country with enormous potential, if he could say that's our vision, that's our aim, beyond ourselves, be a far more acceptable price. But he can't say that, because we haven't articulated that. We haven't even given our youth a vision of how we want to move this extraordinary country. We do have our values. We do have our ethical references. We do believe in human rights. It's a fundamental law of the nation. But is it human rights only for us, or is it for all of humanity? And so, ladies and gentlemen, we can't hide anymore. Globalism won't let us do it. And we cannot continue to restrain the extraordinary potential of the youth and the great power of this nation to sustain itself only and try to get away by throwing cash at the problems. For their future is at risk. And their future is not like my future was when I was 23, something 2 or 3 decades down the road when I'm 45. Their future is 5, 6, 7 years down the road as we work our way through these extraordinary revolutionary times.